Welcome to the Code with Jason meetup. It's another SaturnCI day. I guess at this point, the Code with Jason meetup is kind of synonymous with working on SaturnCI because that's usually what we do. So the thing that I was working on most recently, which Rick, I think you saw this, David, unless you happen to have caught the most recent videos, you probably aren't familiar with this yet, but I have a counter. So when I start a build, which I'm triggering now by hitting this rerun button, you can see that there's this counter that counts up. So you don't just have to sit here and feel like nothing's happening, but you can see that something's happening. Um, that's all fine and good, except when the test suite finishes running, the timer doesn't stop. And so that needs to be addressed. So let's figure out how we can write a test that will assert that when the test suite finishes, the timer stops. Okay. So um, let's think about how to do this. By the way, I'm writing a new version of my Rails testing book, and in it I describe a process for writing a test. And I try to really like dumb it down and take it one tiny step at a time. And the first step is to simply decide on a file name for the test. So I'm going to follow my own instructions. And the first thing I'm going to do is decide on a file name. So what is this test for? This test is for the build status. So let's take a look. I know that I already have some tests for build status. Maybe it's in build list actually. Okay. Well, I already have this elapsed time test. Okay, so maybe it even makes sense in this file or maybe somewhere close. So when there's a running build, it does not show the elapsed time. When there's a finished build, it should, oh, this is, okay, so this like doesn't make total sense. Oh, wait, maybe it does. Okay. Yeah, okay, here's the thing. Yeah, okay. Sorry, let me explain my thoughts here. So after the test suite has finished, it does show the like frozen final time here. It's just that you have to refresh the page in order for the time to like freeze. So let's do this. Let's say context when the build goes from running to finished. Yeah, and we'll say it stops counting. Okay. So first we're going to visit this build path. And I actually like to run the test at this point, even when it doesn't do anything, just to get that feedback cycle started. Because all these steps are about lowering the cognitive burden of each individual step. Okay, so that works. And we want to assert that it goes from counting like this to being frozen. And that is actually an excellent question. How do we do that? I don't know. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, here's an idea. I don't know if it's a good one. But let's say the test took 3 minutes and 40 seconds, as this one did. It's going to go like 37, 38, 39, 40, and then we want it to stop at 40. So we could assert that when we're looking at when we're on that build and it's still running, we don't see 3 minutes and 40 seconds because it's going to be something less than that. But then when it goes from running to finished, then after that, we should see 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So let's try that. And by the way, I'm sure that this build is finished. If we refresh it, I expect that, yeah, okay. So it only took 2 minutes and 48 seconds, but we saw the counter going up beyond 4 minutes. Okay, so let's try this. I'm just gonna, okay, build time is 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Expect page, actually I can just do this. Expect page not to have content 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Okay. And then allow build to finish and then expect it to have the content 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And if we run this, it'll fail because the page will never have the content 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Yep. All right. So how do we give this build like a hard coded runtime of 3 minutes and 40 seconds? I don't know. So let's see. Okay. Oh, this is not even remotely where I want to be. Okay. Elapsed. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong place. Is it build list? List item, I think it is. Okay. Duration formatted is what we want. Okay. So I don't think this is actually going to work, but in theory, we could do something like allow job.build to receive duration formatted and return 3 minutes, 40 seconds. But I don't think that'll work. But I hope I'm wrong because that would make my life easier. Let's see. Oh, wait. I have to do something different to test this. I'm going to change this build to be finished. Yeah, okay. It says running. That's unexpected. I expected it to say that it's finished. Let me see where I'm mistaken. Job.status. Let's see what determines the status. Okay. It's passed if it's finished and it's not failed. And it's finished if the finished scope includes this job, and the finished scope will include this job if it has a finished event. Okay. Okay, so let's create a finished event for this job. Let's see, job.job events. Let's see. Oh, I have a comment in one of my tests. That's embarrassing. That can just go. Okay. Okay. So now this job is finished and passed. Let's see if it now shows passed instead of running. Okay, it does. But it says 0 minutes, 0 seconds. And I think that's because this job that I'm allowing to receive duration formatted and returning 3 minutes 40 seconds. That's a different instance than what's showing up here. Like if I do job.build.duration formatted here, I expect that I'm going to see 3 minutes 40 seconds, and I do. But obviously here it says 0 minutes 0 seconds. I believe that's because it's a different instance of a build in memory. It grabbed it from the database. It's the same database record, but it's a different instance in memory. So we can't stub it in that way. So we'll have to do something different. Let me go back to here. Yeah, so I think something else we can do is say allow any instance of build to receive blah, blah, blah. And let's see if that achieves it for us. Okay. And now it does give us that because instead of applying it just to that one instance, we're saying allow any instance to receive that method and return this. Okay, so now I'm expecting a different failure. Yeah, whereas before it said expected it to have content 3 minutes 40 seconds and it didn't. Now it's expecting it not to, and it does. But I had only added this finish business as a test. So I can delete that because that test is over. Now, if we run this test, we should see a different failure. Yep, expected to find text and it didn't. All right. So here's what we need to do now. We need to add a thing here. Did I? Yeah, okay. We need to fill in this comment where it says allow build to finish. Luckily, we have some other tests that do exactly that. So let me think. This was like the system log spec or something. Let's see. System log. Okay. I got to remember Saturn API helper. Okay. Yeah, we have this HTTP request thing here. Let me see where that's being used. Okay. System log HTTP request. Oh, that's not the thing I want. I want just HTTP request. Okay. So I'm going to copy this and then I'll explain what the heck I'm even doing. Okay. So I want to send an HTTP request to the SaturnCI API that says that this job is finished. So it's this job finished events endpoint. Okay. Job finished events path, something like that. I'm going to see job finished event. Let's see if I'm like doing anything with that somewhere else. Oh, that's the one I just wrote. Okay. Okay, here we're doing a post to API v1 job finished events path job. Okay. Job finished events path. Okay, and we can apparently just pass the job. I don't believe we need a body. Okay. And so that will tell SaturnCI that this job is finished, but it won't tell it that the test suite has passed. So I think we need something additional. Um, but actually, maybe we don't. Maybe we can just do this. We can say that the job has passed, and then we send a request to show that it's finished, and that's all we need. Okay. And hang on a second. Let me see something. Okay. You know what? I'm going to simplify things. Let's forget about passed or failed for now. Because if we at least tell it that the job is finished, then it'll go from running to incidentally failed. But that's okay, because we don't care if it passed or failed. We only care how long it took. So I'm going to run this, and I expect failure still, because even though that we're saying that the job has finished, there's nothing on the application side that responds to that request in the UI. Okay, undefined local variable or method API authorization headers. That makes sense because I'm not including this helper that I need to be. So we need the Saturn API helper. And that should make that go away. It does not make that go away. Okay. Okay. I think something that I did in like a scratch PR that I didn't actually commit was we got to get this out of here and put it in here. Okay, so now by including the Saturn API helper, we also include the authentication helper. Oh, but am I even including that? Yeah, I am. Okay. Okay, now it says missing keyword body. So let's fix that. Oh, this isn't even supposed to say new system log content anyway. This can say body nil. Okay. Whoops. What the heck am I doing? That's not even the right file. Okay, here we go. Okay. Missing keyword body again. So I obviously made some kind of mistake. Oh, this isn't even, I'm not even in the right method. Okay. So we can say body nil right here. Okay. You know how they say the camera adds 10 pounds? Well, the camera also takes away 10 IQ points. Um, okay. Expected to find text 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Okay, so it expected to find it and it didn't. Yeah, okay. That is what I would expect. All right. So now I think what we need to do is we need to go to this job finished events controller, and we need to make it so that this broadcasts a TurboStream event, which then updates this. So I'm going to get one running again just for a visual. Okay. So we happen to have this other example of a turbo stream. This is like the one other place in the app where I'm doing a turbo stream. And I'm getting deja vu because I remember now that I've done some of this already. Does any of this seem familiar to you, Rick? Did we already do this together? Or is your memory just as bad as mine? Or maybe you weren't present.
Yeah, no, I think I'm losing 10 IQ points too, watching you lose 10 IQ points. I don't remember.
It's contagious.
It is, it seems to be.
Okay. So let's see. So we when when this endpoint gets hit, we want to make this broadcast. And by the way, when the jobs are all finished, what happens? This is a weird empty if here. I think maybe I left this here because it's only when all the jobs are finished that we want to say that the build is finished and broadcast this event. I think that's what that was all about. Okay, so the partial won't be this. It'll be build list item. Okay. Builds, whoops, builds list item. Okay. And the partial, I think the only value it will need is build. I'm actually not sure about that now because I see build and I see at build. But let's not worry about that right at the moment. Okay, so we'll say build job.build. Okay. Oh, and what's the name and the target? I'm not sure. Let's see what it was in this other case. So build show, I think, is what we're interested in there. Oh no, that's empty. I've stumbled across that before. Let me just delete that so that doesn't happen again. Oh no, it became job show, didn't it? Okay. So we're subscribing to this turbo stream and we have this target. Yeah, okay. So we need a target that's like the which is the status. Yeah. So we can maybe say ID equals build status and then the build ID. And I did that completely wrong. Okay. And so what's the name? We can have that be build status job dot build dot ID. Okay. Um, target. Oh wait, that's what I meant for the target to be, I think. Like maybe the target and the build should be the same. I'm not sure. Okay, so here the target was build details content, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is that target. Okay. Uh-huh. And so then here in the list item thing, I will subscribe to that turbo stream. And it's from build status build dot ID. Yeah, and I made some kind of syntax error here. There we go. All right. Now this surely won't work, but I'm going to run it because, okay, undefined project build, sorry, undefined method project for nil class. Yep, that makes sense because I assume it's talking about this line because we have this build.project. All right, so let's change that because I think it kind of sucks to have this at build and another build that's not an instance variable, but a local variable. It seems kind of confusing. So let's go to where this list item partial is included. Oh yeah, okay. Okay. So we're iterating through all the builds, and one of the builds is the current build. So maybe we can go like this. I'm going to reformat this a little bit. Okay, now we can see the whole thing. The current build is at build. So we can replace every instance of at build with current build. Okay, looks like it's just those two instances. But the thing is, when a job finishes, I don't think I have a way to know what the current build is. I don't know. For the moment, I'm just going to pretend like it's this job's build. All right. See what happens now. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Okay. Job line 40. So test report is nil. That is not shocking. I'm going to do 2s there because 2s, nil 2s is an empty string. So that should be okay. Yeah. Okay. And that passed. I am skeptical because that seems too good to be true. But let's give it a try. All right, I'm refreshing the page and it's taking a long time. I think that could have something to do with the fact that every one of these builds is subscribing to that turbo stream. And also it's showing that this is still running, which is like not true. But I'm going to click rerun. Yeah, and that takes a really long time. I don't like that. So maybe let's do this. First of all, let's see if that's even really what's happening. If false, or I can just delete it actually. If I refresh, is it fast? No, it's not fast at all. It's still being really slow. I'm going to refresh again. Okay. The second time and every time after was fast. So if I bring it back, okay, now it's fast again. So it must not have been the turbo stream. I don't know what's up with that. It might be a totally separate, unrelated issue. All right. So we're going to sit here and wait for this test to finish because if this feature is really working, which again, I'm skeptical that it really is, but if it is, then we should see that first build go from running to passed, and we should see the time freeze at whatever the finish time is. And we can open up a second window here and we can like refresh in this one to take a peek without disturbing this one here. Okay. And while we're waiting for that, I guess we don't have to sit here and wait because we can come back in like a few minutes after it finishes. And if it works right, we can see. We don't have to be present at the moment that it happens. We just have to come back after it finishes without having refreshed to see that it changes without a refresh. Okay, so that test passes if we run all the tests in this file. Do they all pass? Okay. So one thing we can do here is we can make the test hopefully a little easier to understand by saying before and moving this allow any instance into the before. So then it at least separates some of the setup from the exercise. And even I feel like the visit is appropriate in the before. Okay. So instead of saying stop counting, I'm going to say it goes from counting to not counting. Okay. Hmm. Let's see. And I'm going to do this. No, I don't know. Okay. I want this to be clear that it's like the duration and like why we're having this assertion. We expect the page not to have 3 minutes, 40 seconds because before the test finishes, the counter will be counting as counters do. Um, After the test, I shouldn't say test, I should say build. After the build finishes, the counter will have stopped counting and we just see the static duration. Okay. I don't usually put comments like that in tests, but in this case, it feels called for. Okay. And I hope this HTTP request is clear enough. All right, so it does say passed, but our formatting went weird. Well, that's unwelcome. And this is probably going to be like a tough one to address because I don't want to sit here and wait like 3 minutes. I don't want to like make some CSS change and wait 3 minutes and see if it worked. So we got to figure out some better way to do this. First, I'm going to delete this because it's just stuck and running and I don't want to be distracted by it. Okay. But what we just did was something. So I think I'm going to commit it. I'm going to review my changes as I always try to do. No surprises there. I'll do this in a new branch. Let's see. Update build status automatically. Actually, I'm going to call it automatically update build status. Make it so build status automatically gets updated. Okay. And the build won't automatically show up, so I'll have to refresh. Yeah. Okay. And by the way, this still has this, which maybe we can learn from. But still, we have to have a way to easily reproduce this. The first thing that comes to mind, although I don't really like it, is like we could have a button that we click that triggers that thing, and then we can reproduce that issue. I'm open to ideas. But I'm just going to sit here and think for a second. Maybe on the console, I can manually trigger a request. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let me see. Okay, what was that test we were just on? It was like build status spec. No. Okay. This is maybe a flaw in my test naming scheme. One would think that you would find this in build status. Maybe it's like build list something. Yeah, this elapsed build time one. Okay. Yeah, so I want to do something like this. So I need to have a job, and it needs to actually be this job. Okay. Job equals job dot find that job. Okay. Um, and then let's do this. I don't think it'll work. Yep. We're in the dev environment, but can we do this? Whoops. Can we do include Saturn API helper? No, we can't. All right. What can we define this HTTP request method? We can. All right. And then we need API authentication helper. We can do that. Okay. So now can we do this HTTP request thing? Okay, that path is undefined. Oh yeah, naturally. Okay. And by the way, it probably, I was going to say it probably finished on its own by now, but apparently not. Okay. Um, we can just use this for a path, I think. No, that's not the right path. Um, I think the path will be that was surprising. Oh, okay. API v1 job finished. Oh, okay, yeah. I need the job ID right here. Okay, we have that job ID. I don't like it how it hides it from me like that, but okay. Finished events. Okay, does that work? 404 not found. Okay. So I must have the route wrong. So let's look into that. Okay. Oh, do I need the request method? It is a post, and that's what I want. Okay. But it says it's not found. I must be doing something wrong. Okay. API v1 jobs. Oh, maybe I just did job and not jobs. Yeah, that's what I did. So that's at least a problem. I don't know if it's the problem. Okay, also not found. What else am I doing wrong? Jobs, job ID, job finished events. I just have finished events. Okay. Okay. And I haven't sent this one yet, but I see that this job is already finished and it's doing the weird CSS stuff. So let me start a new job. And I will grab its ID. Okay. It's running. Okay. Now we finally get a 200, but it seems not to have actually worked. Okay. Job events. Okay, it does have a job finished event. Job.status. Passed. Okay. Job.build.status. Running. Why is that job's build status running? Oh, because there are two jobs. Yeah. Okay. Let me temporarily set the number of concurrent jobs to just one, and I will kick off a new build. Okay, so you can see now, instead of having job one, job two, like it does here, this only has job one. All right, so we will grab that one. Okay. Replace the ID. Okay. Now we can conveniently reproduce this issue so that the cycle can be short. And we can do this too. We can do job dot. Oh, actually, let's do this. Job equals job dot find this um, job dot job events dot destroy all. Then it goes back to running. And then we can invoke this request again. I'm actually going to change this so it's not hard coded. I'll say job.id. Okay. Okay, now we can finally start to look into what's wrong. All right, so this is like a flex container. And the problem seems to have something to do with the oh, everything is in here twice. That can't help. So here's maybe what we want instead. Um, build list, no, build list HTML, list item, yeah. So I think okay, hang on. I gotta look at this other place for reference. Job show, render current tab name. Okay. Yeah, list item, build list, HTML, list item. Okay. I think we actually want something different here. We want to do this. We want to replace that. Okay. Build status, build ID. Uh-huh. Okay, and so then this goes away. Okay. I'm gonna refresh. It's taking forever again for whatever reason. Okay. We see that it says passed, so we'll have to reset it. Huh, I set it. I took away all the events. Am I on the right job? DE9, blah, blah, blah. Yes. Oh, it must be cached. Job.touch. Okay. Job.build.touch. Okay. I don't know what the deal is. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to rerun to get a fresh one. Okay. Job equals job.find this. Okay. And now I'm going to do this HTTP request. Okay. It does not have the same problem. Okay. Now I'm going to get rid of all the events again. For whatever reason that worked. Oh, I think the reason it didn't work the other time is because it had actually passed. Maybe that's why. I'm not sure actually. Okay. So if that bug is really fixed, then what we should see is we should see this job complete after it gets to 3 or 4 minutes or whatever. And it should complete in such a way that it doesn't screw up the layout of the page. In the meantime, let's review the changes. See, this is why it's always good to review the changes. I'm not intending to commit this. So let's undo that. Okay. This looks good. That looks good. Okay. So that's all fine, but I don't want to commit it until after I've confirmed that the bug is actually fixed. We'll just sit here in uncomfortable silence until it finishes. Oh, stuff is happening now. Okay. The test suite is starting up. I'm like a sports commentator. All right, it's showing the first few tests passing. By the way, I need to get rid of this bug where it like has this ugly scroll bar in the wrong place. And then also with this area, I got to make it so it like sticks to the bottom because otherwise you have to keep scrolling down repeatedly. Okay. It should be almost done, I think, because it only takes like 30 seconds to run. Okay, look, that was really nice to see. It now says passed. And I'm just curious, if I refresh it, does it still say 3 minutes, 8 seconds? Okay. I didn't know if somehow there would be some kind of weirdness when I refreshed and it'd be different, but it's not different. For some reason, this only has one job. Maybe, okay, I'm going to rerun this. And I'm curious, is it going to be just one job or is it going to be two jobs? Two jobs. Okay. I'm also really curious, does it behave the exact same way when there are two jobs? Because we haven't tested that scenario yet. I don't see why it would fail, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Okay. By the way, I want to come up with some way to make this period of time a little bit more interesting because we're just sitting here waiting and it says nothing here yet. That is, it feels unfinished. I feel like I want some like um, piece of Confucian wisdom or something right here. So you have, you can use this time productively to enrich yourself as a person rather than just staring at this blank screen. So that will be, man, that actually could be implemented very easily. You know what? Let's do this. Okay, first I'm going to commit this because I think this did fix the bug. Fix layout bug, I'll say. And then I'll push that. And assuming that this works fine, I'll merge that to main. Oh yeah, nothing here yet. Um, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna change this to this quote dot random. I'm gonna have a quote class. Oops. Okay, so for now it'll just return a single hard coded quote. I'm gonna open a new window here, a new tab. Okay, so now we have this. But the problem is we'll get some test failures, I think, because the tests are hard coded to look for nothing here yet. So, yeah. What the heck is this? What am I looking at? Oh, describe application helper. Okay. Okay. So maybe below this quote, let's put something like waiting for test suite to start. Okay. Oh, by the way, this finished just fine. Um, oh, but also look at this. This says our test has been running for 4 minutes, and this says 2 minutes and something. Oh, but it's a different test. What the heck is going on? Oh, we don't even have this fixed layout bug thing here yet. Okay. That was just a misinterpretation on my part. Okay, anyway, let's get this rerunning so that we can see this waiting message. Okay, but it doesn't have my Shakespeare thing. I think maybe I need to do that. Yes. Okay. 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 And so here, instead of nothing here yet, we can say waiting. I'll just put waiting and that's all. That'll be sufficient. Okay. But let's make these quotes actually a little bit. Let's have more than one quote. Okay. So we can do this. Um, add 9 more quotes. Include some from, include at least one from Confucius. Is that not how you spell Confucius? Confucius. Yeah, I got it. And Ben Franklin. Okay. And then I'll take out any I don't like. I don't really like this one, or 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 this one. Well, shit. Okay, let's find our own quotes. Um, I don't feel like Confucius quotes are maybe all that appropriate for something to see while you're waiting for your build to run. Yeah, so no Confucius. Um, I do like this one. Oh, I know. Lincoln quote sawing. Yeah. That's oh, actually, I know of an even better one. The hen is the wisest of all animal creation, for she never cackles until after she has laid the egg. Abraham Lincoln. Okay, I guess we need a fresh test suite here. Yeah, I'm not actually even sure that I got that one right. Let's see. I got the word order a little bit wrong here. Okay, how about at least one more? Um, oh, here's a good one. Um, do what you can with what you have where you are. Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, let's see if I got that one right. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Perfect. Okay, I think 3 quotes is good enough to start with. Oh, in the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. I like that one, but I'm sorry, I'm just a very picky quote selector for SaturnCI, and so fuck your quote, Rick. It doesn't make the cut. Um, okay, that is finished. Let's commit this quote thing. Add random quote. Okay. Now I want to merge this automatically update thing. Git merge squash automatically update build status. Yeah. Okay, and I'll push that. That'll take a second. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now I think so. I'm going to wrap up in just a second. Oh, pressure makes diamonds. I like that too, but again, doesn't make the cut. Um, okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah. All right, I'm going to wrap up in a second, but I think the next thing I want to tackle is the automatic scrolling. So let me leave myself a hint for next time so that I know that I want to pick up with that. Let's see, test output. Okay. Hmm. This is probably not the exact right spot, but I'm just going to say add automatic scrolling. And that'll be enough. I'll make that into a comment just because I don't want it to screw things up. And that'll be enough to clue me in to what I want to do next. Okay, to quickly review what we did today, um, we added this wonderful quote. Oh, I guess I didn't need to rerun it. This quote to look at, and you can ponder its meaning while you're waiting for the test suite to write, for the test suite to start. And of course, we added this feature where the test suite will automatically change from running to passed or failed or whatever it is when it finishes, so you don't have to refresh the page. And by the way, I do want to wait for this one to finish just because what's going on with this? Like, is it actually working or not? Okay, job 2 is still waiting to start. Interesting. I'm going to look at the logs for job 2. So we might have some funny business still going on. But if I refresh, it doesn't say it's finished. I don't know what's happening with this one. So there might be a bug, there might not. In any case, I think I still. Oh, there, that one changed to pass. Passed. Oh, yeah, okay. It just took a minute to like know that it was finished. Okay. Well, I feel good about that. I am the world's greatest programmer after all. Oh, there, and that one passed too. Oh, but look, um, look, these are both selected as though they are both the currently active build. So we'll have to fix that bug. Okay, so sorry, automatic scrolling, you will have to wait. I want to go to the what? To the events, the finished events controller. Um, only say it's the current build if it really is. Yeah. And I have some thoughts. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't have any thoughts, but I don't need to right now. We can wait until next time for that, and then I can dedicate my full attention to it. Okay. Thanks, guys, for joining me, and I will see you next time.